know there's an extensive list of players currently in the treatment room. Can you just update us on what the team uses ahead of the weekend?
Yeah, of course. We have some better news than ahead of the Southampton game, which means that, of course, Timo, Romelu are still out because of their injuries. Christian Pulisic did join training, the last 2 training sessions, but it's still too early given the time that he missed. And everybody else is available. Aspi was back on the pitch, and Ruben's back on the pitch, and NG is back on the pitch, and they're with the team tomorrow and ready to play.
Clearly some really good positive news there. Yeah. Obviously everyone will be disappointed to see that Romelu Lukaku is not going to be involved. How is he progressing? How soon is it going to be before he's back in action for Chelsea?
Well, I'm not a friend of deadlines and putting pressure on expectations, but I can tell you that it's realistic that both of them, Timo and Romelu, have a new target, and the target is after national break. This is what we aim for, and what they aim for. And for Christian Pulisic, we're looking forward to Burnley match. He should be against Burnley. If everything goes all right, he should be in the squad against Burnley and ready to play. So this is...
Next in the Premier League, you have Newcastle. How much has the dynamic of this fixture changed over the last couple of weeks? Firstly, because of the fact they've got a caretaker manager, and secondly, because of the fans. The feel-good factor is back at St James's Park. The atmosphere is going to change because there's a much more supportive fan base in terms of where the club's going, the direction. How does that affect things for you on a match day?
Let's see. I cannot predict it, but things have changed for them, obviously, and maybe changed in the dressing room or in the spirit within the club, in the belief of the city, and as you mentioned, in the belief of the supporters, what's coming. And maybe that affects the atmosphere in the stadium for them, and of course for us. But listen, I mean, we experience right now that it has a huge value to play against us, and we come off these matches where we played as so-called favorites, and if you look at the table, we are again in the same constellation. I liked a lot how we approached these matches with the kind of effort and the kind of intensity and effort we put into these matches was a nice approach, and was exactly the approach that we want from our team to prove the point during the 90 minutes. We know very well that you can turn things around and you can close gaps in 90 minutes in football. That's why we all love this game, and the Newcastle will try to put out their best performance. The spectators will try to help, but we are responsible for us and for our limits, and to set new standards and at least meet our standards and what we demand. We expect a tough game. This cannot be a surprise because we play Premier League, and coming to a very emotional and very emotional and big club, and that's what we are looking for. We need to be on our best level tomorrow to have a chance to catch the 3 points, because we're up for the 3 points.
So 14 different Chelsea players have scored 23 goals in the Premier League so far this season. You can see the smile on your face. How satisfying are those numbers?
I know the numbers only when you tell me these numbers, because otherwise I'm not so much into these numbers. But it's nice to hear. Now we have to compensate the loss from Romelu and Timo, and of course we did score before with different goal scorers, and it's now even more necessary that we have that we arrive in dangerous positions, that we arrive in the box with a lot of players. It's important that we bring bodies to the opponent box, that we are brave enough, free enough to end our attacks with enough people in the box and increase the chance to score. This is what we want, and this is maybe the reason for it. In the end, we hope that it will not be Shorshi at the end of the season who is our top scorer. Not again. We like him a lot, and it's no offense to him, but we hope that our main guys and our strikers are the guys who score regularly, and we can provide and create chances for them. This is what we want, and still it's good. We are like dangerous from several positions. We are dangerous from set pieces, and that's what we want.
Just going back to the Newcastle game, in your opinion, is it a good time to play them when they're in limbo with their caretaker manager, or a bad time to play them because they have something to prove, trying to take a step forward?
You will find a lot of reasons for both answers and for both arguments. So maybe it's the best not to reflect on it. It's the way it is. They have the new energy in the city and the new energy in the club. By the announcement of the takeover, they decided now to change the manager, and this is how we have to deal. This is what we have to deal with and what we have to overcome. It's a bit more difficult to analyze them because we have only one match with the current manager and to look at. We're not 100% sure like what to expect. And all this ends up in like the same conclusion: focus on us, focus on our limits, focus on our standards, and push ourselves to the limits. That's what I wanted to say. And if it's easier or harder, this is a question we cannot answer, and we don't want to answer actually.
How do you view the Premier League at the moment? We've played 9 games. Do you see it as a 3-horse race yourselves, Man City, Liverpool? Think that's how it's going to pan out?
Maybe not, but we're just very focused on us, and we know what it takes. I mean, like I said many times, Liverpool and City set the standards during the last 4 or 5 years now, and they showed how many points and how consistent you have to collect points in this league, which seems to me a fantastic effort what they did, and the titles and the title race was between the two of them. So it's on us to challenge them. It's on everybody else to join the race, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of teams out there who are hungry from points, and so no prediction from me how this thing ends and who is involved. We're almost through October only, so November is coming, and looking at our table and the fixtures in December, January. There's so much to play for. There's so much needed in terms of focus, concentration, and consistency. That's all I can answer and give you.
Yeah, you've always said you think there's a gap between yourselves and Manchester City and Liverpool. But do you now think that gap has narrowed?
Maybe for the moment, but it's only how many games? 9 games, yeah. And we need to prove it, and maybe we proved it the last half season, but now it's a new season and we need to prove it. And the thing is, it's not enough to prove it for 9 games. We need to prove it through a whole season, and that will take all of us. That will take all of our courage. It will take all of our effort. It will take all of our discipline. It simply will take really all of us. It's like running a marathon. This league is super exhausting. We have different competitions. We are up for all competitions and the best outcome in all competitions. So we're trying to close the gap. I have no problem in admitting that there was a gap in the last years, and Liverpool and City set the standards, and they are together, and they created a certain mentality with their managers together over the years, and that's what we try to close it, and we were like confident enough to say straight away that we want to close it from the first day in this season. And this is what we are up to, and this is what drives us, and we will work on it, because it takes a lot to keep the momentum going.
Okay, I'm going to finish this section with Jerry, then Nizar. So Jerry, if you want to go first.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm fine.
Really? There's a lot of focus on your attacking lineup and the number of goal scorers, but defensively you've got the best record in the division. 3 goals conceded in 9 games. I think this time last year it was 10 goals in 8 games. Is that the key to winning a title?
It is one key, but it's not enough to have only one key. You have a lot of doors to open, actually, and need a lot of different keys. But it's one key. Let's be honest, we were relying a little bit too much on the performances of our goalkeepers this season. But still, we have a certain stability, and we want a certain stability also mentally to overcome difficult situations in games, which is a good thing. So we believe that we can overcome them. We believe them because we overcame them. We have this experience together. We are a tough team to create chances, to score against. This is proven, and still we have to work on it. So, but it's not only about defending. The game is so complex. The best way of defending is having the ball and attacking, having the ball in the opponent's half, causing problems for the other team. This is also a way to defend. It's also a way to defend what happens immediately after a ball loss. How good is our counter-pressing? How good is our positioning while we are attacking? How much effort do we put into invisible work? How much effort do we put into closing distances to the opponents while we are attacking, while we play on the other side? Yeah, how high is our concentration level? There's a lot of questions, and a lot of questions asked during matches, and a lot of answers needed to be able that we don't concede and never forget. You need also an amount of luck to escape with clean sheets in Premier League. But yeah, to sum it up, it's one key, but it's not the only key.
Hi Thomas. I know you love training Mateo Kovacic, and he's been kind of really professional behind the scenes and stuff, but he's got his best assist record in a single season already in the Big Five leagues. Is that because of something you're doing or something he's doing, or is he just decisive in the final third more, and how is his game developing for you?
Now that you remind me, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say we had very sad news yesterday. He injured himself in the last minute of the training and suffers from a hamstring injury, and will be out for some weeks actually, because he will be out for the next week for sure, and then comes national break where he will be so it's a minimum of these weeks. So hopefully after national break, hopefully he can be back. He injured himself in a hamstring. Doing a little bit too much in training is also my fault, and that describes, maybe then we come to the answer. I mean, you can call Mateo at 3:00 at night and call him for tactical training, for defensive training, or for set piece training, or just call him and he will be there, and he will be here with a smile and happy to do what is needed to do. So such a fantastic guy. Such a fantastic team player. I was a huge fan of him when he played for Real Madrid. I remembered, and I told him straight away, I remember Clásicos that I watched with him, and I could feel that there's such a big potential when I met him and met this friendly, humble and guy with such a big heart for football and such a passion for training. It's pure joy to be his coach. So what we do is encourage him to trust him in his potential, to simplify his game a little bit, to not look in every little action for the third and fourth solution, because sometimes he has already a first and second solution that are pretty good. He always thinks about the others. He would pass the ball on the goal line to somebody else if there was somebody to score and not him. I'm very, very happy to have him. I'm very happy with the step, because he did a huge step in this season in terms of, like you say, in terms of proven statistics. He is involved in decisive passes. He still can improve in that. In timing and in composure in the last pass, so to even be more decisive, and that's pretty much it. We try to make him confident and make his game maybe a little bit more easy, and at the same time it's a pleasure to have guys who are so courageous and so brave during matches. He will never hide. He's always there at your side. Come on, it's a pleasure to have him as a coach, but it's also a big pleasure to have him as a teammate. I mean, I would have loved to play with guys like this who help you in every situation, fight for you, run for you, and always positive on the pitch. Is fantastic. He's a real fighter, the top player.
Okay, thank you everyone. That's the end of the broadcast section. Let's turn the cameras off.